down, bend down, bend down. Raise your hands again. Come up, raise your hands. Quickly. Celeste, yes, look interested. Stretch your hands again. Touch your head. Touch your head. All of you looking at me? Touch your head. Stretch your arms. Touch your nose. So what happens is, most of you, sit down all of you. So most of you were confused, you didn't know whether to touch your head or to touch your nose. All those who were standing in front, they were about to touch the head, because that is what you saw first. Although you heard the instructions, you wanted to touch the nose, but my expressions, my hands told you to touch your head first. All those who were standing in front. So what happens is, it should, this activity was to tell you how a body gesture can influence your audience. And most of the times we mirror these sentiments, we mirror the excitement of the other person. For example, somebody like Shiva was energetic. Even if I'm feeling low, if I meet him, I will feel energetic, just being around him. So somebody who is very bubbly, I would, when I meet Nikita, I also feel like jumping, and I feel like telling her something very, just the way she is, just the way how, the way she is always excited. I also feel like being excited and talking to her like that. So this is called mirroring the feelings and sentiments and expressions.
Because it won't come then.
Maybe we forward that. So this activity was to tell you how we follow the body gestures. So every time anybody is talking to you, anybody is addressing you, you as an audience, you are noticing the body language of that person. You are noticing the postures, gestures, and everything. And which is why I have told you about Mehrabian study. In fact, I had asked all of you to do a small research about this, which said, in the study, Mr. Mehrabian said that we pay a lot of attention to the body language and the voice tonality of a person as compared to the content and the words which has actually been spoken. Which is to say, that if there is a presentation which is going on in front of you, you are listening to the words. You're listening to the things that the person speak or say. But how it is said and the way it is said is much more important. Which is why you have to be always be aware of your body gestures whenever you are making a presentation, whenever you are standing in front of a crowd. And they should complement each other. I have told you that if I'm saying that I'm okay if you have not given your assignment, I'm okay with that. My mouth is saying, my face is saying that I'm not okay, but my mouth is saying that yes, I'm okay with it. So there is a mismatch in the things that I'm speaking and the expressions that I have. So they should complement each other and they shouldn't go into different directions. And if you have noticed, I'm sure you all must have noticed, that whenever someone wins, not just a race, but any competition or any race or wherever you have won something, don't you feel like throwing up your arms in the air? And why do you do that?
To express our feelings.
To express our happiness. So this gesture is always equivalent to winning. So somebody wins, they throw up their arms in the air just to say that I am feeling ecstatic, I am feeling happy, I am feeling excited that I have won this. So as I had said in the previous slide, that your gestures and your words should complement each other and they should not go into different directions. There are a few tips for your body postures, for your body, for a good body language, you need to be careful about your posture, how to stand. I will show you a few pictures how you need to stand, how you, you shouldn't stand. You shouldn't stand with a hunch, and you should always stand straight. You should stand erect. Gesture strengthens your message. So if I'm moving these hands, if I'm using my hands while I'm talking, I am not doing it because I feel like doing it. It strengthens, it gives a stronger message to all of you while I'm talking. If I don't use my hand at all, if I just keep my hands closed at one position and then deliver the presentation to you, it will have less meaning to it. Okay, your hand gestures and my hand gestures could be different, so it doesn't have to be the same. Every time you are doing a presentation, you would also, with time, with practice, you will also notice that you are also moving your hands. It may or may not be similar to the way that I'm doing or somebody else is doing. But as long as you move your hands, as long as you are doing these gestures, you are good. Okay. Audiences, body language, their body matters too. So if you're sitting there as an audience, you will also have to nod and just say that yes, you are understanding, with your nodding, with your body language, with the questions that you ask, with the with your facial expressions. They all should go hand in hand. So these are a few positive body gestures that you can do, and I will also share a few negative body postures which you should avoid. Shaking hands confidently, walking upright, nodding head, all that I have said just now are a few positive body gestures. However, you need to also keep in mind the negative body gestures, and you should avoid doing these in case you are doing them. So somebody told me yesterday that if you are sitting with your head down, that's one of the poor body gestures. They only said, the students only told me that these are one of the poor body gestures. So if you're attending a meeting, if you're a part of a seminar and you're sitting with your head down, then obviously it's a wrong body gesture, right? So I want you to tell me what else could be a negative body gesture, a poor body gesture.
No eye contact.
No eye contact, yes.
No listening.
I hope you have not read the whole list. So let's, you have, yes, please tell me more. I want to know from you all what could be a wrong kind of a body gesture.
Yawning.
It's wrong?
Yawning.
Yawning. Oh, I thought I heard it as nodding.
No, yawning.
Yawn. Yes, of course. पढ़ा रहा है तो yawn. करते हैं आप लोग करते हैं. So, what should you do if you feel like yawning?
Cover your mouth.
Sorry?
Answer. When a question is raised, you should stand up and answer.
Which you are not doing. You are doing that. Case in point. No, it's okay. I will still accept it, but you are just saying it.
They didn't particularly ask me the question.
Just give it to you. Give it. So any other?
No listening.
Sorry?
No listening.
Not listening? Disturbing others, which you very often do. You love to do that. What else? All the things that you love doing is, they are the things. They are the things which will come under this head of negative body postures. So you know better. You have been doing it. Jayesh, yes, you are a master of it already. Please tell us, please enlighten us. Please tell us a few wrong body postures so that we know from all of you and we try and avoid these in future. ये टक 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 जो आपका पैर चल रहा है ना, it's one of them. Some people have this habit. In fact, I also do it subconsciously at times. But if it's continuous, it's not stopping at all. So it tells the speaker, it tells the other person that you've talked away or your mind is wandering somewhere else and you're present here physically but not mentally. So this is one of the wrong things, one of the things you should avoid. What else, Madhu, should be avoided? Coming to the class, should be avoided. A fake smile? Please scrutinize his smile and tell me is it fake or genuine. No, of course, it's one of the things that should be avoided, fake smile. What else can you suggest?
Standing and rising.
I want to scream all the answers. I want to know. I mean, I'm not asking
When
anybody.
a question is raised, you should raise the hand and sleep.
That's one of the etiquettes. You know, these are the etiquettes. But
Standing just in one place and
Disinterested looks.
Interested looks.
Like if
Okay, what else?
Sit down, being fidgeted, like you're talking
Not
about
really.
something.
Okay.
No.
Sorry.
like when someone's talking to you, playing with your hair or with your
I know. Yes, this is what we girls usually do.
No, ma'am.
See, did I say anybody in particular? Did I name anybody in particular? But the person who said no, ma'am, knows very well what is that related. So, okay, now you know that. Now you know what is to be avoided. But then the girls are, they have this habit of flicking their hair again and again and again. And yes, they have. They have. And it's so distracting, I can't tell you. You know, most of the times the actresses who would come on the stage to address the crowd and they spend 50% of their time flicking their hair. and it's distracting. Maybe not for everyone, but at least for the male, audience, it's distracting. So yes, making a smile, you said making a smile after reading from here. Proper etiquette should be followed. Again, body gestures are the ones which needs to be avoided. Okay, etiquette. Etiquette. What did you say? One of the things you said, I said,
Raising down your hands.
yeah. See, etiquettes are a set of rules or guidelines which you should follow. That chapter we don't have. I have that chapter with your seniors, but we don't have this chapter in particular with you all. But etiquette is nothing but a set of rules that we need to follow when we are in public. For example, you shouldn't yawn at somebody's face. कोई बात कर रहा है not yawn. Shall laugh the heart. He does it very often, so he knows it very well. So you should not be doing that. Or if you are, there are a number of rules for dining as well. So there are a set of rules for dining every day. Are you guys aware about that? Where to keep your,
knife and
your
fork.
knife, how
How to
hold your knife, which hand is for fork and which hand is for knife. And then you shouldn't blow your soup when you are having it, however hot it is. You are not supposed to, blow it when you are serving. Yeah, with corporates. Corporates, for any formal setting, if you're having a dinner with your friends, तो बस पैर उठा के भी एक दूसरे के ऊपर. So that is not what we are talking about. We are more concerned about a more formal setup where these things are required. So, do you understand what etiquette is? These are basically a few norms which we all follow being a part of this society. You cannot say that, I will do it my way, however I feel that you do it. You can't fart in public. So that's one of the unsaid rules. This is one of the unsaid, etiquettes that we follow. So etiquette is nothing but how we behave in public, how we conduct ourselves in public are called etiquettes. Eye contact is one of the most important things, and when you have it when you are doing it, as a speaker, when you are doing it as a listener, the impact of the presentation is much more, the impact of the things that you're saying is much more. A lot of people have the habit of, let's say you and I are having a one-to-one conversation, and some people just can't make an eye contact. There are people who would look sideways and they are still talking to you, but they are looking sideways. Most of them. See, when we are having a conversation one-to-one, for an hour, if you're sitting in a coffee shop and you're having a conversation with your friend, you cannot look into each other's eyes for an hour and then talk. Of course, we'll look sideways, we'll look at different things. But what you're not supposed to do is not look into the eyes of the person you're talking to. If you never ever look into the eyes of that person, for example, Sushil is doing. Let's see how he's. So he's not making any eye contact. And why don't we make any eye contacts? Why do you think people don't make eye contacts?
And they are not interested.
Interested? Sushil, would you like to answer?
Yeah, they're nervous.
Shy?
Nervousness.
They don't have guts.
Shyness doesn't mean you don't have that.
Disinterested? Shy?
Nervous.
Confidence?
I'm nervous.
Lack of confidence? Or overconfidence? No, what happens is people tend to make eye contacts more when they think it is of their interest. For example, if you find that something is totally of not your interest area, then you tend to look at different places, then you tend to look at different things, and you do not look into the eyes of the speaker. But lack of it is going to make the speaker feel excluded. If you're not making any eye contact with the speaker, if the speaker is, let's say, is not making an eye contact with you, how do you feel? What are the things that goes on in your mind when the speaker is not making eye contact with you? How do you feel like?
Not interested.
Please answer. Stand up and answer. Okay. What else? So be more interested. Attention. What happens is it is both ways. If the speaker is not making an eye contact, the audience will feel that the person is either has no interest or lack of understanding of the subject, and then there is no confidence in that person. And similarly, if the speaker is not making an eye contact or the audience is not making an eye contact with the speaker, a similar kind of feeling is generated in that person's head. So it's both ways, it's not one way. So not just the speaker has to make an eye contact, the audience also has to make an eye contact with the speaker. And if you're not making one, there'll be times when you will get caught. Okay, a lot of times when we are doing a presentation, we point fingers. If you have to ask questions, why don't you stand up and answer that? This looks pretty bad. In fact, I will tell you that I was in Singapore last week and I was so pleasantly surprised, not surprised, I was very happy to see people how they talk to each other, the way they, looking at their hand gestures. They do not point like this also. What they do is, they talk like this. This is how they do all the, this is, if you ask for a direction, they will tell you like this, that it's there or it's here. They don't even open their fingers. It looks decent, it looks pretty decent. We as Indians, at times we do that, but then they do it as a practice. Every time they have to speak, they would keep their fingers closed like this, and this is how they would denote things. It looks much more pleasant than pointing fingers. That if somebody asks us for a direction in India, wonderful way to talk to others and point things out. Can everybody see this? Can you all do that? Once more. So, showing things through your thumb. So, if you have to say things, if you do like that, if you bring that, if you slowly can bring that into your hand and into your practice, you will feel that it is a much better way to hold your hand when you are trying to show things, when you are trying to give things and tell people that this is where they need to go, this is the direction that they need to follow. Instead of pointing. But there is another way to talk while you are presenting. With your palms up. With your palms up. It says that 84% of the times people will listen to you if you are talking with your palms up. And the way, if you're talking with your palms down, it is said by many of the body language experts that people feel dominated if you talk to them like this. There's a way, if you can talk to them like this, why would you like to talk to them like with your hands upside down? With your hands upside down, it knows that you're trying to dominate them. So instead of that, with your palms up, try to talk to them. Try to talk to your audience. Okay? Pointing is obviously the worst possible. Do not point and talk. Either fold your fingers like this and talk, or with your palms up. It will have much more effect on your audience. I'll show you a few videos, where people have had a terrible time with their body language, and because of their terrible body language, they could not have the desired effect on their audiences. But for that, I will need the
Speakers.